Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hi, Laurie.
Jaqueline. All right.
How
was it?
Well, I have this to say. 91 degrees when I got off, 94 when I got off the airplane here in Burbank. Felt balmy, felt cool.
Oh my God.
It was real.
Awful.
It was 111 when I left.
Oh my God.
I know.
How are they going to continue living there, these people, these Arizonans?
Well, they seemed to there was a giant fountain outside the comedy club, and I said to any number of people, did you guys read Dune? When the Atreides come to Dune and there's that room that has all the water, because monsters used to rule Dune. Anyway, you should get rid of the fountain. I did not go there. But I was.
Wow, that story took a turn. I had no idea you were anti-fountain. By the way, my homemade fountain is still burbling away right behind me.
Right,
I love it.
But you don't. It's not open water in 115 degree where you're just wasting water. Though maybe you are. God knows. But you are. It looked like about 800 gallons of water.
I see where you're going with this. I do think the sound of water makes people feel cooler. Like that is an added bonus. Right. Although you should be able to stick your feet in the fountain at least, right?
They have one of those things that kids can jump around in. One of those.
Yeah.
They're not called that. Psst, psst.
No.
That's not what they're called. I am tired, weirdly enough. You ever go to a hotel and the beds are a little too squishy or the pillows are too long? I had the bed was a little too squishy, but on the whole, the hotel was very nice. But the pillows, Jesus, just give me a pillow. I don't need a pillow the length of a person. I don't need to spoon or be spooned with a fucking pillow. Jesus. Anyway.
My pillows were actually very short at this gig last night. And I didn't like that either.
Right. Sometimes they're a little too short.
Can we just settle on a size and go with it?
Standardized pillow length.
There were like 8 little pillows instead of on a queen size bed and you must sound like you had one long one or 2 long ones.
There were 4 and it was dumb.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
So tell me about the shows. Tell me everything.
Well, the guy Brian featured, we spoke of you. Your name was invoked. They miss you and love you. And Tom's going to run for the legislature.
Interesting.
He asked me if I knew. See that. He asked me if I knew who some guy was that was might endorse him, and I kind of did. But I didn't have a good memory of that politician. So I didn't say that I did. I said, no, I don't know who that is. Which, of course, was disappointing for him because when he was like, hey, someone's going to support me. And then you're like, is it some weirdo libertarian dude? Because I'm not that psyched about that. But do whatever you want. I'm opening the door for the dogs.
Okay. What party is...
He's running as an independent.
He's running as what though?
An independent.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, fingers
which usually
crossed.
right, which usually means right. It usually means libertarian, but which can has a spectrum. It's got a linear. It's I was telling him that he needed to. I the only thing I said to him was like, "Oh, so are you going to help people have more hope and heart and courage?" And he said, what? So,
Jackie, here's libertarians to me. They start at the darkest end as male comics, and at the lightest end, they're male comedy club owners. That's the spectrum.
It's a good spectrum. I think you're right, because he is incredibly supportive of the local comics and comedy scene for sure. And very
great.
Like community related, organized and loves the idea of community and all that stuff. This is a guy that would go to brunch. This is what we know.
I think there's something to, like, comics were always sort of we don't really have a home in a way. You have a home, but you're always out, so you can't really fully participate in whatever community you live in. And when you're in Tom's situation where he bought a club and he's kind of invested in it, now that's his home. He's not going to be moving or going other places.
Right.
And maybe that makes him want to settle in or something like that. I don't know.
I went to lunch with a couple of local comics. I went with Steve Young, who used to live here.
Oh yeah.
And then a guy who went to college with Andy, who has been on the Dork Forest, and he does stand up, and he's always been very funny. His name's Steve Mandel. So a bunch of Steves. I went out with a couple of Steves. Friday, 2 shows. First show Friday, super fun. Second show, so lightly attended that it kind of threw everybody off.
Wow.
And I think I did an hour's worth of material in 40 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Because of the silence. And then Saturday first show was good. I liked it. I like Friday first show better, but Saturday second show last night, because there was only 4 shows. Saturday second show was hilarious because I was just so dehydrated and tired and hot and all of these things that I just decided to do what I didn't even decide to do it. I did a thing that everyone's been telling me to do for 35 years, which is to slow down. So I was like, here's another joke. And then I waited for them to laugh, and they frickin' giggled, and it made my night because they were too tired and dehydrated and half in the bag at 10:15 at night on a Saturday next to an axe throwing bar to do more than giggle. So we had a really good time. I sold did pretty good on challenge coins. It's the only thing I brought. Sold like 16 at $20 a pop. So that's good.
Okay. Well, I had okay. So I did this gig in Paso Robles, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Was it because I'm in Paso Robles this Friday?
No,
at a winery.
It's not a winery.
Oh, it wasn't a winery? Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll tell you the whole thing.
Please.
So it's at least a 3-hour drive in a 2009 Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
That the air conditioning just puts air into it doesn't condition it. It should just be called air.
It blows hot air out into the world.
So it's a long drive. That's fine, and you start to pass some Newsom signs. These are the people that tried to recall Gavin Newsom. Waste a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
You're in that territory. So I pull up to the venue. The hotel's next to the venue. The venue has a Believe in America or something with a flag. I was like, oh, like a big sign, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I, get ready in the hotel room, and I walk over and brought my air purifier, of course, plugged it, had it plugged in. The show, I mean, it's a lot of a lot of retired people who golf.
Yeah.
And just terrible shirts. Now, normally I'm not.
Wait. Okay. What shirts?
I'm not Don Rickles. That's not my first go-to, right?
No.
But
you will go there if you are pressed.
It was complete crowd control the entire night. There was no art in this whatsoever. I look over to my left, and there's a lady holding her phone up, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's streaming it on FaceTime Live. I'm like, or Facebook Live. I'm like, no, put it down. And I had to tell her multiple times to put it down.
Oh no.
It was like, right. So every table is a potential explosion. The guy in front of me, here's the thing, I'm also descended from people like this, so I kind of know them. Like I'm like, oh, I know this guy. This is my cousin, right? So there's a guy with a bunch of American flags on his shirt, and by the way, they were upside down. They were in his armpit. It was not, to me, respectful to the American flag. So what do I know? I'm not a libertarian, and
you don't have a
so,
collection of American flags, much like
no,
these people for some reason.
no,
Like
no.
one's not enough.
Yeah. So I just commented on his shirt because material was it worked in and out, but they really needed to be commented on. They were like little children who constantly needed to be monitored.
Yeah.
And so he goes, Trump 2024, and I was like, oh god. And then some other people clapped. And that was sort of the vibe of the crowd. Now I did like an hour or 55 or something, and they seemed very happy with the show. I definitely did not get paid enough. I mean, I got what I said it was. They said they were going to pay me, but they had so many people there. They ran out of food. Not only did they run out of food, Jackie, they ran out of nachos, which is made of the most basic food stuff on earth. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, somebody made a lot of money tonight, and it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And then drove back today, and I couldn't sleep last night. Then I drove back again in the heat, 3 hours, and then I just like, I don't know, just passed out. I thought I'd come home and do shit, but I couldn't. And then I was like, fuck, I have a set tonight at 6 o'clock at like a private thing, right? And it's not paid. It's just like a charity.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it, why do I do this to myself? But I go to the place. I got the wrong day. It's on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Shoot. All right. Good Lord.
So I'm just tired, and I feel my energy was wasted this weekend.
Did I tell you that I did I talk to you after I did a benefit at Dynasty this week?
Yeah.
For a group that they sent. It was very nice, but they it's one of those situations where the least famous person goes last. And they actually did put one of the younger guys up first.
Yeah.
And Margaret Cho had to leave, and Cameron Esposito was hosting. And so as Margaret keeps going, I heard her say to the organizer, is everyone doing 30?
Cameron or Margaret?
Cameron asked but Margaret was supposed to do 30, right? Because she was the big name, right? It was it was Margaret, it was Aparna Nancherla, myself, and a young man. God dang it, I can't remember his name, but he made me laugh so hard. He was just for laughs. He was one of the new faces, which is neat.
Neat, cool.
And
that's a great show.
Yeah, he's from Michigan, New York comic, living here, I guess, right now. And has meetings. Always get slightly jealous when people come out of their new faces with meetings.
I know.
But good for him. But because he did have a very funny joke about when he was 13, he came home from school, and his mom asked him how school was, and he said, "They're making me join a gang, Mom. I start on Wednesday. I'm going to need red pants." And I was like, oh my God, that made me laugh so hard. And so that show was super fun. But Thursday, right before I had to fly, and I put this in the text chain, I took a gig down by San Diego. The guy told me that it was an hour from San Diego. He did not tell me from Tijuana.
It was like south of San Diego.
South of San Diego.
Oh my God. That is criminal, and he should be arrested.
It was a rookie mistake on my part to not look at a calendar. This state is enormous. California.
Oh my God.
United States of America. I felt like I liked your reply text where I felt like I was in my 20s again. It was completely insane. Coronado Island, which is south of San Diego. It took me 40 minutes to go the last 12 miles.
Are you going across a bridge or a
Yep.
ferry or?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it was dumb. And the audience was just very, there was a lot of people, weirdly enough, from LA who were on vacation, like having a weekend away starting
Okay.
on Thursday. And my billionaire millionaire line worked the best it's ever worked. And but what I loved was the guy, and this is the same guy who booked me in Paso Robles this weekend. That's
Yeah.
what I just sent you his name.
Ah, nice. That's winery money. Jackie, I was in a sports bar basically. Like on the TVs next to my performance where I was a baseball game and Gutfeld.
Wait, still playing?
Yeah.
They didn't turn it off. Okay, because Coronado, sports bar, all the TVs. And I walk in and I'm like, what is going to happen?
Right.
And it turns out Jim Gallagher, who is the booker for this thing, isn't playing around. There's no kids. He charges everybody a real amount of money. And he opened the show with a couple of minutes, a joke that did not work. He was like, it's the first time. And I said, because I was talking to him about it after, I was like, I'm psyched you did that joke. He was like, it didn't work, Jackie. And I said, no, I love the premise, because the premise was, it was just it's a common premise right now. LaCroix, coconut flavored LaCroix.
Okay.
People talking about LaCroix a lot for some reason.
Right.
And he was talking about how much people hate LaCroix. It's a lot like if the Trump presidency were canned. And he said, and the only worst beverage would be the beverage that he hates more than coconut LaCroix is the blood of Christ. And I loved that because he brought up the biggest spectrum, so that if there were any conservative people, they knew that we were going to be talking about everything.
Right. Jackie, what are you doing? I've never seen, you're hopping around, you're standing, you're squatting.
I've had too much coffee and not enough water, and I just scratched my leg and it's bleeding.
Oh no.
So
oh my God.
My life is on fire.
This podcast is falling apart. Kyle had COVID. You're hemorrhaging.
Right. It was so hot in Arizona. I literally went. Clearly, a lot of people from Wisconsin have moved to the Phoenix area because there's a Culver's, which is a burger chain out of Wisconsin that has frozen custard, and there are a lot more Kohl's than I ever saw before in my life. So I went to a Kohl's and I bought a pair of, I think it seemed like man capris, but they're because they have good pockets, but they're an unlikely color, right? They're this sort of weird aquamarine. And when it was 111, I'm gonna keep talking. I got a lot of what is that?
I just held up my AirPods, and my cover, I think, is the same color as yours.
It is the same color. That is exactly the same. Do you want these pants? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, they seem like they're stained right now, Jackie. I don't think I want them.
I'm bleeding on them. No, I'm trying not to bleed on them because they were $17 at a Kohl's. I know how to get a deal, you guys. And but I wore them on stage last night. I was like, this is the closest I've come to wearing shorts or a dress on purpose on stage. I once accidentally wore shorts on stage, and I have accidentally wore dresses on stage. But I don't feel, you have to not be self-conscious of what you're wearing on stage. And I'm always self-conscious if I'm wearing shorts or a dress.
Right. Depends on the dress, but yeah, if I'm wearing a loose dress, I'm okay. Sarah Millican, the UK comic, has great dresses. She has incredible dresses that she wears, and they're elaborate and gorgeous. And she gets like I don't think she goes to Nordstrom like to the rack like I do. You know, I think she like has them commissioned, and they look really great on her, and they're fun.
I'm gonna look at her dresses, Sarah Millican. Yeah, I'm going to her Instagram after this.
Yeah. You probably will do it during this, knowing you, Jackie.
Very likely. My driving joke is working really well. I have a new ending line.
Yay!
I love a new ending line. I love it when it all comes together. And it hasn't all
Yeah.
come together, but more parts of it have come together since previous discussions of my new driving bit.
Yeah, I still have some excuse me, loose ends on some new chunks. You know what? I did this show at the Crow this week where Nicole I think she said it in the email, but I don't read emails. And Jackie, I can't read. I think people know that by now, right?
I think there's some skimming that we all do.
Yes, right? But so it was a show of people that were living with or had survived cancer, right? And they were going to talk about it, like do kind of stand up or storytelling kind of stuff about it. And
okay.
So she asked me to, and a couple other comics, like kind of working stand-ups to do, so I listened to my special again, and I grabbed a couple of bits that still work, right? And I did them, but I was like up on stage. I was first, and I was like, oh my gosh, it kind of hit me how important this show was to the people that were there. And also, well, they're all like, my story ends in death because my dad died, and these people are all talking about either living with it. The first woman up will find out in like 2 weeks if she's cancer free after a horrific ordeal. It's like, wow, I couldn't watch the rest of it because
that's intense. Yeah,
and I felt like, what am I doing here with my terrible bad news right up front?
Right, that's a weird place. I mean, granted, get it out of the way. Palate cleanser.
Sure.
Everybody else lived.
So it was really good, and then I was at Jetpack after that at Bar Lubitsch. That was pretty fun.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't have all the checks I'm owed from the Laugh Factory, like,
oh, right,
because I mostly work Long Beach because that's where they put me, and so you can't pick up your checks at Long Beach. Clearly, I don't understand keeping this arcane system of comics have to stop by the Hollywood room to pick up checks, right?
Yeah.
And I've always been like, well, just book me there so I can pick them up. I don't want to stop in Ballet Park to pick up checks from 6 months ago.
I don't want to spend $12 to pick up a check for $26. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. And then someone in our chat said if you don't like sign in when you do a set, that they don't register you as having done the set. And I'm like, I never sign in. I mean, no one. I think I do it at Hollywood because they put the thing right in your face, but at Long Beach they don't. So now I'm like, do I have to like go through all my notes and find out other dates and go, hey, there might be like 6 to 8 dates that I didn't get paid for, which is $600 to $800.
Okay,
I don't know.
That's real. That's real. I know it.
I was listening to like Marin and Gap again, and it's like, we're all the same age and we're just leading different comedy lives than those two. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I'm chasing $100.
Right. Right. I did I called Maria when I was driving around the other week or the other day, and she was going to Jimmy Pardo's to do Never Not Funny because she has a new album out and a new book coming out next month.
Yeah.
And so she's doing all the pods, right? And she's like, do you want to come and do Never Not Funny with me? And I said, do you want to ask Jimmy Pardo if he wants me to come and do, like, it's always weird. There's no pop-ins with podcasts. It's weird.
No.
So, but he said yes. And
cool.
I just sat in a corner over the side, laughed at all of them, and just got to kind of hang out for an hour. And that was actually quite fun because I like all of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was interesting. And then the next day I was talking to her and she's like, hey, I'm going to Marin's to do what the fuck? And there's this pause and I go, no way. No way does he want you to bring me. And she said, because my dad was like, "Oh, she's got a new Maria has a new book out. Am I in it?" And
God.
I know. I told Maria, I was like, "We've created a monster." He was a monster before that, but now he's a guy who really needs the press. And so
Oh, is he?
no, but I guess I'm in it so much that her editor said, "So you're really good friends with Jackie Cation, huh?" I was
That's
like,
cool.
"Yes, yes." And though on the album, she misquotes me, but it's creative license, Laurie.
Yeah.
She said that at one point she mentions that I would be at an open mic in Cambridge, drinking a Diet Pepsi cranberry, the Jackie Cation, half Diet Pepsi, half cranberry. It's half Diet Coke. I preferred. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jackie, you've got a lawsuit on your hands.
That's
well,
it.
Well.
Throwing down on the DPDC.
I'm actually a Diet Pepsi person over Diet Coke. So
why am I not surprised?
Trying to push you in God's direction.
It feels like typecasting that you would fucking like Diet Pepsi.
I don't even understand your animosity.
Never will.
Towards Diet Pepsi and in general.
And towards a red delicious apple and a cup of Diet Pepsi.
Jackie, when they're chilled, they're the tightest apples. And I stand by that. I stand by that.
You can stand with it. You can have all of mine. It's a delight.
So I was listening to a lot of podcasts on this drive, and Maureen interviewed Gary Mule Deer. Did you ever know him?
Oh, no, I don't think I might have met him, but I didn't know him.
I never met him. Yeah. He's like an old, very old
a classic. Yeah.
Classic. He's in the John Fox era. You know what I mean? Like those guys that wrote 45 minutes once and never updated and had a long career for a long time. But he still opens for country music acts and whatever. But there was this moment where he was talking about, he's from South Dakota, and so he's like, part of his act was I would tell some Indian stories, and Mark kind of left that alone, and then he brought it up later. I would tell a bunch of Indian stories. You want to hear one? And Mark goes, "You don't have to." Like, yeah, there you go. I mean, we can all guess what tribes are being impugned by this South Dakota native, but it was pretty fun.
Right. So Mule Deer, he is not Native American?
No, his last name is Miller. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That actually, wow. Okay. I'm going to take a sec and really soak in the fact that he called himself Mule Deer and is from South Dakota. My friend Jim Wooster, also from South Dakota, used to have some of the greatest, and now writes novels and scripts, but he had some of the weirdest fucking jokes, and one of his great, like, all I've done all weekend, by the way, is quote other people's acts. I'm just like, hey, I heard a great joke here, heard a great joke there. Jim Wooster used to do this great bit about being from South Dakota and how people want to be racist against Black people, but there's not enough Black people to be racist against, and you can't be racist against Native Americans because their lives have just been have been so, and it's a lot funnier than that, but it's also not funny, which is one of the reasons he stopped doing stand-up. But I don't want to give away the punchlines because I've already done 2 other people's bits, so it seems enough. Do you know this guy that I put in the chat?
I do. That guy cracks me up. I don't know him very well. I feel like I know him as well as I ought to because he seems kooky. But I do remember when I was at Montreal, maybe when I was pregnant, doing the Masters series.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
I think he was shadowboxing. I don't know. I just have an image of him shadowboxing. Some comedians will do that before a performance. And I was like, oh, okay. But what's your story about him?
That, first of all, I think you just superseded it with now that I know that he's a shadow boxer. Nobody should be a shadow boxer. He did a club, this club, and somebody from the staff, I talk to them all the time. So they called me up and I wish to cryptically put this, but he did it, and he was he just got completely wasted and wouldn't get off stage and was a mess of a dude.
And that tracks with my experience. Yes.
And the staff was genuinely unhappy. But he wasn't like sexually gross. He was just, sort of like I remember a couple of one-nighters, a couple of weekend rooms where I would get so shit-faced that one weekend, I think I've told you this story, where I burned 2 bridges. In one, I burned the Mueller gigs.
Yeah.
And Pat, what's her face? Whatever.
Pat Wilson.
No, not Pat Wilson, because it was a different Pat from Illinois. And was it Pat? It wasn't Pat. Whatever it was Mueller and this other booker who booked these weird gigs in Nebraska. I burned, and that was like 15 weeks of work. And it wasn't good work, but I was so drunk, I called the wrong bookers and left a crying message about losing my money. And then I hung up and I was like, I called the wrong people. I should call the right people. And then I called the right people drunk and crying and and then guess what happened? I found the money, Laurie. Found the money. The guy that I had brought back to my room did not steal it. I sent him away because he didn't have a condom. And he didn't steal my money, and he didn't rape me. So all good. That's really a good story at the end, except
Jackie,
for that
that's an incredible road story, and I love it. And I
kept it tight.
Believed, had you actually burned real bridges, I would have believed that as well, because there's a side of you I'll never see unless something goes horribly awry. But you were out of your mind, apparently. Now, I will also say that comic, I do find him attractive. Now, I haven't seen him in a while.
Really surprising thing that has happened in so many episodes.
He is the
Jesus
Diet
fucking
Pepsi
Christ.
red delicious apple of stand-up comedy.
Oh. Jesus Lord.
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in a while, but my memory is like, yes.
Well, at least you have a type. So,
which is why I don't date, Jackie. It's called self-discipline. I know myself.
Oh my God, it's called safety mouse. You're doing the right. You're really keeping yourself safe. It's a shrewd move on your part. So. Oh my gosh. What do you got this week?
Oh, this week. Wait, shall we take our break to comic of the week?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Comic of the week. Maureen Younger. Maureen Younger.
She's Australian, I believe. And she just popped up on my Instagram. Thank you, Zucker, for just throwing funny women into my feed. Nice. And I think she's about our age, and she's a pissa. She reminds me, I'm like, she's like if an Australian had been born and raised in Boston. That's kind of the vibe I get from her. And I like the clip I saw, and she's obviously been doing it a while and is a total pro, and a crowd handler, etc.
That's awesome. And it's Maureen, like the Irish Maureen, and younger as opposed to older. So at Maureen Younger, it'll be in the notes. Find her, watch all of her reels, like them, follow her, see if you can find her some work.
Yeah, I'll call all my Australian contacts and take care of that shit. This last week I did a lot more work on my pilot.
Woo!
It's coming along. I'm pretty happy. On Friday, they were gonna, the WGA, the AMPTP said that they wanted to meet with the WGA. So I was like, oh my God, it's gonna end. I gotta be ready. Right. And then it was a total fucking fake out. They're such garbage. I got more time. But I'm happy. I see that it will be finished. And I didn't see that like a month ago.
Okay. Okay, that's amazing. That's
Mhm.
that is awesome. Steve Young, who, if you don't know who Steve Young is, he was you met him, right? It was
I know Steve. Yes.
yeah. So you did Akbar. He used to do that regular.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah. So he has like on his Instagram, he has a character of a Silver Lake yoga studio runner. And it's just sort of a silly, kind of LA yoga studio kind of character. Well,
Yeah.
he told me that he's writing a book where a murder mystery happens in that yoga studio.
Ooh, I love
And I
it.
was like, all you need, I swear to God, is the character who will be the person who solves the crime. If you can figure out, then maybe I think that would make it easier to write a murder mystery.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Oh.
I don't know who would be
Yeah.
my crime solver. So my great American novel must wait. I am reading right now a murder mystery series, and there's sometimes it's not it's got a little bit of a melancholy to it, and I
Yeah.
think it's been established that I don't enjoy melancholy. I can get
No.
melancholy all on my own. I don't need to fucking read a book to reintroduce melancholy into my life. So
No,
even if
you're
it's beautifully written.
you're anti any deep emotions.
Oh,
You
I'm
will
up
take
here. I'm up
a
here.
boat and skim over them. You'll just sail over them and chop them up with your propellers.
Me and my hard shell. I'm squishy on the inside, but I don't want to go there. So, but I will say this: there was a woman who was doing the Tempe. Kyle, can you see if you can find out who was at the Tempe Improv
No problem.
this weekend? It was a woman, a comic I had never heard of, but I've probably met because sadly I've met so many. She was headlining the Tempe Improv, and in her bio was a line I have been using since 2006, which is that I'm the golden retriever of stand-up comedy. And it's come back actually into my set. But I did it in 2006. It was in a podcast, and it doesn't really matter. I'm not saying that she stole it or did it. Could you find it?
Catherine Blandford. Catherine
Oh,
Blandford.
she was a comic of the
She was
week.
comic of the week pretty recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
That's when she probably stole it.
right when she was. Well, I think I just used it. I don't know, but and it doesn't really matter. But I'm worried, like you were worried not long ago, about that someone would think that I stole it. But
I know. I don't
but-
even like to use the word steal when we're talking about, you know what I mean? Like it's
right, because
probably
she
parallel
didn't
thought.
steal.
Yeah.
It's a fucking dog. I could
Yeah.
change it to Labradoodle and it wouldn't be a problem. But because now she has it at the Tempe Improv as her bio, so I feel like she might have it now. Though I do have it on tape from 2000, but I'm not finding it and show. I mean, it just seems she seems like a very nice woman.
Yeah.
So unnecessary. Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's the panic attack I had this weekend.
Sure.
So there you go.
Sure.
It's over now.
Yes. Right. So, that parallel, I also feel like sorry for new headliners in a way, because you're looking at picked over remains when it comes to topics and things to talk about,
Yeah.
and it's tough to find new angles on shit. I mean, you really, and some people aren't. Some people are like, oh, okay, that's coming around again. Okay, that's cool. And
it's true.
But to a new audience, they have no idea that our friend of ours who's now selling real estate or whatever did that line 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know.
So
it's weird.
True. So I have a bunch of sets this week. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, there was a really good article in a Hollywood Reporter on Matt Rife and he even last summer was having trouble getting people to come to shows, and then he popped off. They didn't get into too many details about what, like, maybe there was one TikTok that went insanely viral, and then he started following it up and whatever. but it was interesting to read. You know, what I love is how there's some older male comics who are like, he's just handsome, and he's funny and his crowd loves him, so that's it, that's fine. But yeah, welcome to being a female comic a lot.
Yeah,
we're just like, wait, that I just see abs. Where's the jokes? You guys don't seem to mind that.
No, nobody minds it. Everybody wants to see the beauty. And yeah. I will say that there are a lot of very, and to some extent youth is just good looking anyway, right? And yes, they don't even know that they're good looking.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. You're just yes.
And so there is some really good comedy going on out there by some actually very good looking people. It's very distracting.
It's disturbing. It's what's wrong with this democracy. That's not how comedy was supposed to be. Bad.
Oh, that made me laugh. I'm pretty tired, but I just want to tell you that I have like I have a set in Eagle Rock and I have a set in Burbank this week. Mm-hmm. And at random hat stores and pop-up snow cone shops, whatever the fuck. And then I'm going to Paso Robles to a winery on Friday. How far is it? The drive was literally 3 hours? No.
Yeah, and that was a Saturday, so Friday's not going to be pretty. If you go up the 101, it's going to take a lot longer. I'd recommend going up to 5 and then going west on 46 towards Lost Hills, and then you'll run into Paso Robles. But that's a hot drive up the 5.
Right. Well, maybe I'll take Carmen Morales' car. It's a 2023.
Wow,
so
fancy.
It's been parked in front of my house for a month. So
well, on Wednesday, I'm one of many doing Women Crush Wednesday, Marcella's show at the Ford Amphitheater. It's an outdoor amphitheater in Los Angeles. It's across the freeway from the Hollywood Bowl, so you can kind of figure out where it is. And it's going to be comedy under the stars, some really, really funny women. We're all doing short 10s. You're going to get so many jokes and so many different points of view. It's not all, from all over the different races, different economic, whatever. Everything's happening. Mothers, non-mothers,
Right. It'll be really women crushing. Women. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's neat. So it's really great.
And you come out for that if you can. It'll be like a really, really cool show. Marcella's like taking off, and so it's kind of exciting to be around her at this time in her career. That's what I think.
That is exciting. Mm-hmm. I'm doing on Wednesday a Filipino restaurant. So
I love that one. That's I love that one.
Cucina Filipina.
Yes.
On Eagle Rock Boulevard. Yeah,
it's actually really fun, and you have to order early because the kitchen closes.
If I want to
pretty
eat?
Quick. Yeah, they will offer you food, and I was like, I'll wait till after my set, and then they were closed. So you make sure you put your order in early.
Okay. And then Thursday I'm doing a vintage store called Yes Baby Vintage on Magnolia Boulevard. That's Thursday.
I like it. There you go.
And then I come back. So
I'm going to be in New York on Friday and Saturday doing spots. I think I'm mostly at the Broadway and the Greenwich. I just
that's 11-12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rich Bricks loaded me up, and I was like, all right. So that's cool. Get some low pressure New York sets in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to New York.
No industry there.
The following Wednesday, I go to New York. So
okay.
I'm opening for Maria at Sony Hall.
Oh my gosh. Neat.
Yeah. On the 16th and 17th or something like that. And then we're going to go down to DC, and she's doing the Kennedy Center. So I'm going to open for her there in DC. And then I'm going to Nashville to do a Gilda's Club cancer benefit. That's in Nashville on the Tuesday. And on the Wednesday, I go to Milwaukee to just see my dad again. Yeah. And because I'm sort of there. I'm near Tennessee's on the
Same
other side
time
of
zone.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll stay there for a couple of days, hang out, and yeah, that's.
We could take the 45-minute break right now if you want,
Oh, cool.
because it's been 45 minutes.
I'm so glad you're on top of that. Good.
Well, Kyle, yeah, you got lost thinking about your dad, which I get, and I'll corral us, no problem. Now that I see an end in sight of my pilot, I'm like, I can end lots of things. I can end this podcast. I can end everything.
Everything can have a nice tight ending. So
Yes.
did you send out the stickers yet, or is it going to go out this week?
I did. They're out. They're out.
They're out in the world?
They're in the mail.
Right on.
These are the stickers for our Patreons, the $10 and up people. Everyone who left an address in the Patreon and is willing to be mailed. Even the international, there's international
$10 a month people?
What?
There's international $10 a month people?
Yeah.
On Patreon? Oh, that's neat.
10 and 20s, yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I'm getting distracted.
Canada,
Sorry.
the UK, Ireland.
Okay. Oh, very
and
nice.
I separate, of course, Ireland is independent from the UK. And yeah, so your stickers might be taking a little extra time. If you Patreons don't get them by, a week from now, let me know and I'll just resend.
Yeah, there's a couple. This is the first time I printed them, and I wish, yeah, and then we might have a T-shirt. We might have a T-shirt idea.
I'm excited. It looks great. Your dear husband
did
the
some
graphic
art.
artist,
Yeah,
and it looks awesome. Yeah,
it does look really cool. And I left that T-shirt with you, right? Does it fit? No.
Oh, I didn't try it on.
You don't like that brand. Yeah.
No, it's I'm my self-esteem is always shaky, and for me to actually try to put on a medium when I know it's not going to fit remotely, why would I do that to myself?
But it's a men's medium, so it should be like a large or an XL in women's. No,
I don't think so. I don't think so. That's not been my experience my entire life.
Okay. What do I want out of life this evening? It's well, here I know that we have about another 12-13 minutes left, and that feels like a long time. But what do you got?
Jackie, it's spider season in Southern California. It is nonstop spider webs. There's this one spider over here. I'm looking directly at his area.
Indoor spider? Indoor spider.
No, it's an outdoor. I'm on the porch.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Because there's some rules. Yeah.
Every fucking night, the spider drops down and creates a gigantic web. And sometimes I walk into it if I walk out here at night. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it crawls back up to its little space and it gets ruined. I ruin the web and then it starts over again every night. And I'm wondering how long this dance, like you can't, I'm sorry, how smart are spiders? You keep trying to rebuild a web in the same place that
it's the definition of insanity to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yes, of course I attract the attic spiders.
Acceptance is the answer, spider. Charlotte, give it up. I have a rule with spiders. No indoor spiders. Indoor spider, Andy's willing to carry him outside. I'm willing to kill him. And then indoor and outdoor, black widows, brown recluses, you die. Yeah. I
don't think I've seen a black widow or a brown recluse, but this one is a little light brown. I'm not really sure what it is. I just know I duck and crawl around it, and then so far it hasn't landed on me, but I get caught in its house,
So what I told the story on stage twice this weekend. That might be a bit and might just have been me telling a story so I could find the next bit after I had done an hour of material in 40 minutes. And it was, I may have told you this story where, because you were talking about all the, just the creepy flag bastards. And where it's not, I was in an elevator with my t-shirt and the other guy had the t-shirt.
Okay. The dueling t-shirts. Yes.
The dueling t-shirts. And I have decided that I'm going to change it to a different t-shirt, because that t-shirt is actually a joke that somebody wrote, and I don't want to steal that joke. So
I see.
so I'm just going to use my I Stand with Planned Parenthood t-shirt, because for 25 years I got my pap smears and gynecological exams at Planned Parenthood. They were the only place a non-insured stand-up comic with these body parts could go. And they actually, you could go with any body parts. They'll look at all the parts. But I only knew about it because my sister was like, get a pap smear. Go get the big peak. Have everybody check under the chassis and see if everything's okay.
Yes. I think I used them when I was in New York a little bit. And then for a long time, I was like, I'm fine. Like, I was so cavalier. I wonder if COVID had happened when I was in my 30s, I wonder if I would just be like, please, I'm not gonna. I would
maybe, except for I don't think that it's your age. I think it's your mom. I think it's because of your mom. That's what I think makes you take it as seriously, and to this day,
maybe, I don't know.
There were two people in all 4 shows that had masks on, and no masks at all in Coronado.
Oh yeah, when I walked into the Paso Robles room, and I was, of course, the only one masked, and I was being looked at, but I think they knew I was the comic. But some older guys were like, some guys like, pull it down, I want to see your smile, but it was, like, I could see that being written on a Twitter thread, and everyone's like, oh my God, how offensive. But he was just trying to be funny and friendly, and I was, so whatever.
We're the last generation that are like, no, that's that. I did,
he's trying. Yeah, he's trying.
Right. That guy's just a meddler. He's just a guy who's. I did it myself. I was the only one at the airport today, pretty much in Phoenix, wearing a mask. And
damn, that's so crazy. There was a surge right now.
There's a surge all around me. Oh my God, there's a surge right across this Zoom. How you feeling, Kyle?
Hey, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Oh, good. Andy might have a cold.
Shit. Did you get to rest a lot, Kyle?
I have. I've had the good fortune that I had some time off. So it's things are starting to ramp up again, but I got kind of lucky.
Take your time. I think the real worry to me is long COVID, that it stays in your system. And I think we'll pretty much all survive a bout of COVID if we get it. But it's, you read these long COVID stories, it's like, what the fuck? I would be ruined if this happened to me. So I don't know. Just if you have the choice between resting and non-resting, and you can rest, like, take it. You're not being lazy. You're like, it's a gift to your future self.
I've been using it as motivation to make myself do things more mindfully.
Yay.
Oh my God, did Winnie the Pooh just come onto the podcast?
I have to make a funny voice because I'm saying something positive about myself.
Exactly. So I will say, there's some of my stuff that's new, and it's new in quotes because it's old. Yeah. And I'm already bored. And I'm like, well, there's 30 minutes that I could tighten up, and I will, and I continue to work on it. But what I really want to do is I want to work on these 3 bits that all need so much work. It's exhausting, but I only want to work on those bits. And, I continue to love stand-up comedy, Laurie Kilmartin. Let that just be said.
I know. It's really ruined my life. And how much would I just the energy I spent doing this one dumb gig in Paso Robles, it kind of ruined 2 days that I could have maybe actually finished this part. Like, how much time do I waste doing this thing I love?
I will say that the Coronado gig that I did on Thursday, it was 4 hours to get down there. And it was 2.5 hours to get back home.
And you had to do that in one day because you had to fly out the next morning, right?
Yes.
Awful.
Yeah. But I did get home. The show started at like 7 or 7:30. So that was the good news. And we were all just doing 25s.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have to do a full hour.
yeah, I did mic drop. Did I last Sunday? Did we do our
Oh,
podcast
no.
before or
Yeah.
after?
How did that go?
It was fun, you know?
Before. Yeah.
Yeah, James P. Connolly was in the other room, and
Okay.
you know, it's a really fun room.
Yeah,
I
it
like
is.
it.
Did you get the tape?
Yeah,
Did you get the video from
I did.
Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took I clicked out a joke, a they them joke I have, and I posted it on. I just posted it, you know, because that stuff does well. You know, my J.K. Rowling joke,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
That's a great
does
joke.
well, right?
Yeah.
So thank you. So some guy. So of course, on YouTube Shorts, it's attracting young men who are you know, they're a little antipathy. They don't like a woman comic, they don't like the topic, they don't like the angle, you know, and so they just come into lecturing me what comedy is. I'm like, oh my fucking god, it's
Right.
so YouTube. It
Right.
doesn't happen on TikTok, it doesn't happen on Instagram, it's fucking YouTube, man.
Right. I stopped posting to YouTube Shorts, quite honestly.
Really?
I can't face it. I'm already posting all the clips, or all the Dork Forest, and you know, and then I clipped out, looking back, the 10-minute. It's really hard to explain people when they introduce me. I'm like, I have a new tiny special. I'm looking into the camera of a Mazda. Is this something? And so then I have to show it to them, and then they can't describe it any better than I could. But they thought it was funny. And so hopefully there's some traffic going there. I can't figure out, I created those highlights on Instagram, but I can't figure out how to add things to the highlights. Like if I do a new stand-up video, I want to put it on the stand-up circle, but I don't know how to do it. And I tried to Google, how do I add reels to this highlight? And I was given no information.
In theory, you click on that highlight, and then everything in the grid is whatever
I posted
to be associated with it,
ever?
right?
Yes.
No, like
okay. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to click on that circle, and then
is that what it does? Is that what it's supposed to do?
That's what it's supposed to do. And like if you go to Maria's, that's what it does.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Mine just have one each because it was a sample. And I even forgot how I created those highlights.
Yeah.
So the whole thing's a blur. I'm gonna have to email Promotional Rescue, see if she'll send me some bullet points.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway,
Kyle.
Like real close, but like not fake close yet.
Right, like 2 minutes or something, right?
Just about.
Yeah.
Jackie was revving up. She said like she had something. I'm excited.
I have been wandering around with my prototype for my new beanie. Did I show you that I got the new beanie?
No.
I have a new merch item for fall. My t-shirt guy has ghosted me. I've been working with him for 15 years. He's been making my union t-shirts. I hope he's okay. But I sent him a new design for a new shirt, the Made of Bees. And he asked me how big I wanted it. I told him 8 inches, and then I've heard nothing in 3.5 weeks. And then about, a week after not hearing anything, I said, I also need to reorder some Dork Forest t-shirts. I hadn't heard anything. So about 4 days after that, I was like, hey man, are you okay? Nothing. And then I called him and left a message, and I have not heard. So Virginia Jones, who knows all things fashion and union, has found me a union guy here in the Valley of Los Angeles who will make my t-shirts now. But as soon as
you don't have to do shipping charges too,
right? I might save shipping charges. And she also found me a union knit hat beanie guy, which is amazing. He's in Boston.
I like that.
Yeah. So I got the prototype for the hat, and the hat is adorable. It's just a knit hat, winter hat, and it has the Made of Bees embroidered. And I got 250 in black and 250 in purple, and I forgot that it's Viking purple, and the first time I'll sell them is in Minnesota.
Wow.
I would not be surprised in September if I sold a lot of them.
Wow. I want a beanie now.
Right. And they're light and one size.
Yeah. Right. Yes. I'm done
Yeah.
with this t-shirt shit.
Right. Maybe we could do Kills Like a Guy as a beanie.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yes, let's do it.
Right. Then we wouldn't have to sweat the shirt.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a
maybe
great
we could
idea.
get them from Max Fun and
Put it up
them
on
on the
their
road.
site, and people people can just get them separately if they want.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Jackie, I think we're done.